Okay, now we're cooking with peanut oil. Okay, now the first questions we have, well, we'll go over homework questions first because we've got several to go over. Ask my instructor. I don't know if we went over these or not. Let's just look at this one. This is 5.613/4. Let's look at it and see if we've already done it. Yeah, we did 4x4s, I think. Now, Miss Black, is that okay? Do you know how to do this one, or did we go over this one, or you want me to go over it again?
I think we went over that one.
Okay. Well, please let me know because we've got a bunch to go over. Let's do another one. I just lost my, there we go. All right, so I'm going to delete that one. Okay, the next one is 5.61729. 1729. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. First, factor out the common term. What's the indicator here to get rid of to factor out the common term? Well, you cannot do the reverse FOIL unless the last term is a number. Okay, so in this case, the little flag that tells you what to do is right here. And it says factor out a common term because you can't do the reverse FOIL if this has an x beside it, or an x squared, or an x to the fourth. So it is a trinomial, so that rules out the four-term factoring. So you're going to use the reverse FOIL, but first you have to factor out common term. And when we do that, we always factor out the lowest what? Exponent. And I think 3 will go into all of these. I don't think 9 will. Somebody help me out. 3? 3, and then x to the first. And now we divide everything out. 9 divided by 3 is 3. X to the third divided by x to the first. Well, that's 3 minus 1 is 2. Plus 39 divided by 3 is 13. 2 minus 1 is 1. And I'm going to put a 1 there just so you'll know what's going on. And then 30 divided by 3 is 10. And x divided by x is 1. 1 times 10 is 10. So now we have that trinomial, and we're going to try to factor it. 2 sets of parentheses. And this is a prime number, a prime term, so you can't mess that up. 1x and what? 3x. Now we need to break up the 10 into 1 and 10, 2 and 5. Now, this is trial and error, so we're going to have to, I'm going to go with the 1 and the 10. I'm going to put a 1 here and a 10 here. Outside and inside. Well, 10 and 3 will give us a 13, but the problem is what? You got an unlike term here, so that's not going to help us. You can have, that means a positive, so that means this has to be a positive, and this has to be a negative because of this. So 10 minus 3 will not give you 13. So flip it around, that won't work. Why? If you flip the 10 and the 1 around, why will that not work? Be too big because 3 times 10 is 30. So that'd be too big. So 10 and 1 is out. I'll take my handy dandy eraser and I erase the 10 and the 1. Okay. To do one thing. Have to excuse me for a second. I need to blow it up just a hair more. There. Okay. Sorry. Trying to do 2 or 3 things at one time. So now you can try the 2 and the 5. I know you can't see the muddy water and stuff. I'm sorry. Can't see the muddy water in my back. Can't see. There you go. All right. So I'm going to put a 2 here and a 5 here. That'll give me a 5 and a 6. Well, 5 and 6 give me 13. Huh? No. So then I flip it. So I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. I'm going to put a 5 here and a 2 here. That'll give me a 2 and a 15. Well, a 2 and a 15 give me a 13.
Yes.
It's amazing. So let's go ahead and put that because it will give us a 13. So I'm going to put a 5 here and a 2 here. Now, this means that the biggest number has to be what? So what's bigger, 2x or 15x? 15x, Hubert. That's right, class. And then what does this mean? Like or unlike?
Like.
So that's minus. So your final answer is 3x times x plus 5 times 3x minus 2. And that's your final answer. And you feel good about yourself. Okay? And let's punch in a 3 here so y'all know at least I know what I'm doing. Well, there we go. And done. Check answer, done. Look at there. 3x times x plus 5 times 3x minus 2. It's a miracle. All right, let's try nerding. I can get rid of this.
I met someone else that knows you.
Oh, no.
I did too.
Male or female?
Female.
Who?
Della Vanas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she was
my Western Civ.
she was my Western Civ teacher.
Online is killing me though.
Yep.
Like I just.
She was my Western Civ teacher, and I had her back to back at night.
I'm so sorry.
I had
At
her
least you
for
had in class.
I had her for Western Civ 1 and Western Civ 2. Western Civ 1 was from 6 to 8. Western Civ 2 was from 8 to 10. And I had to take them both back to back because I couldn't transfer any more credits into Clemson. And this was the last semester I could, and I had to transfer those 2 Western Civs in, so I took them back to back. So,
Well,
and I loved it.
yours was in class because mine's online, and that book bores me to tears.
Yeah, but I loved the history, so I ate it up.
If I need help, I know who to
No, I don't know about that. All right, let's try another one. This is the same one, so I'm going to skip that one. We did that one. I think it did, didn't it? 1729, isn't that the same one? Okay, 5.6, 4111. 5.6, 4111. All right, this one is a 2-term polynomial. So chances are you're going to be using shortcut here. I don't know. I have no idea. You're going to use factor out a common term. I'm going to use black. So 160 a squared m to the 4th minus 10a squared. Now let's factor out a common term. How do you know to factor out a common term? Again, this right here is not a perfect square. So this right, hit flag here. When you just got two terms, you need to have some perfect squares because your shortcut number 3 is difference of two squares. So if you've got two terms, you're going to be using shortcut number 3. And there's not perfect squares there. So you're going to have to factor out something to try to get some perfect squares. It may not work. You may not have to. You may just factor out the common term and that's it. So let's see what happens. What can you factor out both of these terms? Well, your lowest what? Lowest exponent. And then what else? A 10. So let's do that. 10a squared. Well, I'll do this for you. 16. And m to the what? Minus what? Oh my gosh! Look what we got. What is this? Difference of two squares. And then you can take the square root of the first term. And for those of you who don't know what difference of two terms is, it's shortcut number what? 3. The square root of the first term is 4m squared. Square root of the second term is 1. So that's a plus b. And a minus b. And I think I have a video of the shortcuts, do I not?
Yes.
Okay, so for those people that are going, where are the shortcuts? You hadn't watched the videos, so you need to watch them.
Can you break down 4m squared?
Oh yeah, I meant to do that. Thank you. I was just checking to make sure y'all were awake. There is one more step, and that is this right here. So take your handy dandy highlighter. And this can be factored on even further using shortcut number 3 again. This is called a nested problem. A nested problem is when you have a shortcut or you have a property within a property, or you have 2 or 3 properties inside one problem. And this one you can do shortcut number 3 again. And when we do that, take the square root of 4m squared, which is 2m, and the square root of 1, which is 1. So your final answer is 10a squared, 4m squared plus 1, times 2m plus 1, times 2m minus 1. And that is your final answer. Okay? And I think the only problem you have here is you didn't go that step right there further.
Yeah.
And that's probably what the answer will be. We'll type it in for those that say I'm wrong. Well, I guess I can go here and go 2m plus 1 and 2m minus 1. And check answer is probably wanting it in,
Because it's -10.
huh?
Negative on the
Oh, Mrs. Ugg did that. I didn't do that. There we go. We got it right. Another miracle. All right. And let's keep going because I got a lot to cover today. All right, we did, let's see, 5.4. I'm not going over that one yet. Delete that one. That's number 41. Okay, this is 43/12. 5.6, 43/12. 43/12. Okay, another 4-term polynomial. 4 terms. What do we do? Oh, I forgot to do something. When I do this, let's see. I need to a squared, write that down. A squared minus 7a minus ay plus 7y. If I go to the white screen, it'll show. Y'all got it written down? Okay. Now this will be all that shows on your thing on your video, I think. I can't remember. He explained it to me Friday, but I will. All right, what's the problem?
A squared minus 7a minus ay plus 7y.
Okay, the first indicator here, the flag that should be going up is what? 4 terms.
Parentheses are 2.
So it's either a 3 by 1 or a 2 by 2. Why do you say 2? Because you only got one perfect square. And as I told you in that section and on the videos that all of you at home have watched online, and I say that loosely because I get so many questions, emails from y'all, not this class, but just y'all students. When's the first test due? I don't know. Read your handouts, watch the video. I just don't understand. Anyway, I'll shut up. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this. A squared minus 7a plus minus ay plus 7y. The only thing I did here was I changed this to this, and that's just for housekeeping. Now I can group these two and these two and have a plus in the middle so I won't forget that you're adding. That's the only reason you do it. You don't have to do it, but some people do it. Okay, so I'm going to group these two, and I'm going to group these two. And the reason I'm grouping 2 by 2 instead of 3 by 1 is I've only got one perfect square, and there it is. If I had 3 or 4, or 2 or 3, then I might want to think about a 3 by 1. So what's in common here? So we factor that out, and we get an a minus 7. What's in common here? Y. We factor out a negative y. Why? Because this is positive, this is negative. We want this to be positive and this to be negative. So I'm going to factor out a negative y. And what does that leave? A minus 7. Do these two match? Is that supposed to happen? Yeah, pretty much. Unless it's prime or you're doing something totally wrong, these two are supposed to match. So you can do your pre-algebra, carry the label. They're supposed to match. Okay? So, these two are labels, and I'm going to go back to pre-algebra. 2x plus 3x, and you go 2 plus 3, and then x. So that's a little bit of review here. So I have to put review here. Somebody said, where are you getting 2x from? Review. Okay. So these two come down as a label. 2 boxes of cereal plus 3 boxes of cereal equals 5 boxes of cereal. You don't go 2x plus 3x is equal to 2x squared or 5x squared or whatever the case may be. If this is a label, this is a label, it comes down as a label. Here is your label. There's your boxes of cereal. This is your boxes of cereal. Label. And these are your coefficients. Now, since they are different from each other, you can't add them and get 5. But you can put them together and say A, what's plus a negative?
Negative.
So A minus Y, there's your coefficients. And then your label is A minus 7. And that's your final answer. A minus Y times A plus 7. And that's what they get. A minus Y times A minus 7. I disagree with the way that's written, but, you know, to each their own. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. It really doesn't matter, but I like to put my coefficients out front, and my coefficients is A minus Y. I don't like the way that's written. All right. Hopefully that'll help you out. Next one. I can't remember. I done got lost. That's this one right here. Okay, people are sending me stuff as we speak. Okay. All right. Yep, people are sending me stuff as we speak. So I've got 3 or 4 right here that I've got to do. So this is 5.6, 45, 13. 5.6, 45, 13. All right, 3a squared plus 2ab minus 21b squared. All right, we have a trinomial. So either reverse FOIL or we're going to use shortcuts, depends on what we get. Take a minute and start it off. Still trying to... No, I can't do that, because then I can't draw them forward. So I'll just rewrite it for the online class. This will be 3a squared plus 2ab minus 21b squared. And I think we can factor out a common term. We can't factor out an a or b because that wouldn't work unless you just want fractions. You could, but then you'd have all kind of messy fractions, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to factor out a 3. Nope, can't factor out a 3 because of that 2. So it looks like we've got reverse FOIL. Well, I'll help y'all out. I'll do this one for you. 1a and 3a. There, I helped you out. Now you do the rest of it. That'll be 3 times 7 or 1 times 21. Well, I'm going to try 3 times 7 first. And the reason I'm going to try 3 times 7 first is because I know that 21 times 3 is going to be what? Too big. That's right. So I'm going to just stick with 3 times 7. So I'm going to put a 3 here and a 7 here. And that's my outside term and my inside term. 7 and 9. Will 7 and 9 give us a 2? Yes. Now just add your b's here when you bring them down. So I'm going to just do, I'm going to go undo, 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 undo. So that'd be a 3 here, 3b, and a 7b here. Now what's bigger? 7a or 9a? 9a, so 9ab, sorry, so that'd be a plus. What does this mean? Like or unlike? Unlike. So your final answer is a plus 3b times 3a minus 7b. And that's your final answer. Reverse FOIL. Pronounce it however you would like. I'm not going to do them. I don't like you. Who said that? You? Okay. I'll be glad to. Just make sure I do them, okay? All right. Let me get out of this one. Next. Did I skip over them?
No.
Okay.
Didn't want you to move on and start 5, 7.
No. I'm going to cover all the 5, 6 because that's where everybody's at right now in the class. The online's a little bit ahead of y'all, so that's fine. Let me get rid of this one. Okay, this is 5.6, 59/18. 59/18. Okay, another 2-term polynomial. So that means we got a couple of flags. This one is 256 minus w to the 4th p to the fourth. Now, flags. Two terms. That means we got to use a shortcut, or we're just going to factor out a common term. Because you can't use reverse FOIL on a two-term polynomial. So, two terms tell us that one, it's going to be a shortcut, or two, we've got to use FOCT. Don't pronounce that. Alright? So, can't do anything with either one. Can't factor out a common term. So let's see if we can take the perfect square. I believe we can. Because I know this is a perfect square, isn't it? Alright, so let's take the square root of both terms. Square root of this guy, square root of this guy. Now I know that 25 is, or I'm sorry, 15 is 225. I know that because I know my multiplication tables. If 15 is 225, what do you think the square root of 256 is? 16. So A is equal to 16. B is equal to W, or W, wherever you're from, W squared and P squared. So my shortcut number 3 tells us 16 plus W squared P squared times 16 minus W squared P squared. You ever notice how people pronounce W? Watch commercials, see how they pronounce W. WWW or WWW. All right, do we have another shortcut here?
Yes.
Where?
16
Right here. There is no shortcut for this. So you just rewrite it. 16 plus W P squared times 16 minus W P plus, I'm sorry, I just didn't take the square root of 16. Let me just erase 16 and do 4. And I like to put the pluses first. And then 4 minus W P. That's fine. Now some of y'all are probably looking at these things and going, you know what, these things are getting easier and easier. Duh! What are you doing? Starts with a W. Working problems. What? Don't even go there. All right. We did 15 problems while you were gone. And we had a test. All right. Oh, I forgot to tell you, a test is due yesterday, and you've got 10 minutes to take it. Okay? I just thought I'd make everybody spaz by saying due date. Golly, I've never seen classes so worried about a due date. We have got procrastinators all over. I mean, just
Online classes, the worst. Like, I'm so scared I'm going to forget something.
well, most of your teachers are cutthroat. I'm not. Okay, I explained it to you in the syllabus. I mean, in the worksheets, and I explained it to you in the videos. When we get around the first of the month, and we're getting close, online classes, we're getting close. I have to say that out loud because when's due date? When's due date? When's due date? Okay. So anyway, there's the answer to that. All right, anybody got a question on that one? Hopefully you don't, because I'm not going to answer it.
If you have me clicking back there, I'm trying to even.
Clicking?
I'm trying to load the problem.
Okay.
I can't even load it.
All right, that's that one. I'm waiting until we get to 5. There's number, this is This is 5.6, 6419. 5.6, 6419. Is this yours? Oh, well then I'm going to delete it then. All right.
This is a good one.
Yes, this is a test question.
Oh, no.
For the test that was due 2 days ago that y'all didn't know about because your teacher don't put up due dates. All right. The reason this I don't know about, let's say 729, you might want to check. I'm going to go to the whiteboard here, and I'm going to okay, let's forget this problem right now, okay? I'm going to go to another problem. All right? X to the 6 minus y to the 6. And you need to put this in your notes because algebra teachers love to put this problem on the test. The reason is you can do it by shortcut number 3, or you can do it by shortcut number 5, Hubert. That's right, class. You can do either one. All right? Why? How do you know that? Well, what do you do to exponents when you multiply them? You add. So the cube root of x to the 6th is x what? X squared. The square root of x to the 6th is what? X cubed. So you can use on these type problems. Now, I don't know about the problem that we're currently doing for homework, but it looks like to me you can. Somebody take the cube root of 7. I'll show you how to do that on the calculator because some of you don't know.
You know, on most of these problems, that's what you gotta find, square root of.
Yeah. That's why I told y'all all to learn your what?
Square root.
Duh.
After 2 lessons.
I play football.
I finally figure out.
Hey, something clicked! 2 or 3 days later, all right, the cube root of y to the 6th is y to the 2nd, and the square root of y to the 6th is what? Y to the 3rd. So, if you use shortcut number 3, you're going to take the square roots. If you use shortcut number 5, you're going to take the cube roots. So, let's go and do this problem. X to the 6th minus y to the 6th. And I'm going to use shortcut number 3. So I'm going to take the square root here and the square root there. And that'll give me x. What's the square root of x to the 6th? X to the 3rd. So it'll be x to the 3rd plus y to the 3rd times x to the 3rd minus what? Now what do we have? Shortcuts number 4 and 5. And you do those. So this is shortcut number 4. And this is shortcut number 5. And that's going to give you x plus y times x squared minus xy plus y squared times x minus y times x plus x squared plus xy plus y squared. Shortcut number 4 gives you this. Shortcut number 5 gives you this. So I'll take a handy dandy highlighter and we'll color shortcut number 4. We'll color it right there. And shortcut number 5, there it is. And we'll take a mauve highlighter and we'll color shortcut number 3. Right there. Okay? What? No. Y'all pay extra for that. Y'all know that, don't you? when y'all took me, y'all paid extra to have, this color and animation. All right, and that's your answer. Now, that's using shortcut number 3 first. Well, what if we use shortcut number 5 first? Well, let's do that. X to the 6th minus y to the 6th. Well, I'm going to use shortcut number 5, which is the difference of two what? Cubes. So I got to take the cube root of this guy and the cube root of this guy. And that'll be x squared minus y squared times x to the 4th plus x squared y squared plus y to the 4th. Now I can't do anything with this, but what can I do with this guy? What can I do with that guy?
If it's 2 squares,
Shortcut number 3. Y'all are just on the ball. Shortcut number 3. And that's going to be x plus y, x minus y, times x to the 4th plus x squared y squared plus y to the 4th. Now, the first thing somebody's going to say is, well, the answer's different. Is it? Well, let's look. I've got x plus y, x minus y. Let's go back to the, do I have x plus y? Do I have x minus y? Okay, what does the other problem have? Well, let's look. Oops. An x to the 4th. Well, do I have an x to the 4th? Plus x squared times x squared. X to the 4th. If you did all the multiplication with this, you would come out with this. Now, let's check and see if the problem that we had before us, right here, let's see, we know that v to the 6, we know it's a perfect square or a perfect cube. But do 729. Let's check 729 because I know all of you have memorized your perfect cubes and perfect squares like I asked you to. Okay? But just check it. So take 729 in your calculator. 729, not 725. 729. And raise it to the 0.5 power. 0.5, that's half power. That means square root. And what do you get? How much?
27.
27. Now take 729 and raise it to the 1/3 power, or 0.33333. What do you get?
9.
Huh? 9. So can you do this both ways? Yes, you can. So let's go ahead and do it. Now we know that the square root is 27. The cube root is 9. Remember that. Well, let's just move that up here. Okay, there. Hallelujah. Let's put that up here for safekeeping. And now let's do shortcut. This is v to the 6th minus 729. Let's do shortcut number 3 first. That's the square root here and the square root here. So a is equal to v to the what? 3rd. And b is equal to what? What's the square root? 27? So that's going to be v cubed plus 27 times v cubed minus 27. And what are these two guys? This is shortcut number 4, and this is shortcut number 5. So that's going to be v plus, what's the cube root of 27? Is it? Yeah. V plus 3. V squared minus 3V plus 9. V minus 3. V squared plus 3V plus 9. Now, if you did shortcut number 3, then 4 and 5, that would be your answer. Now do it the other way. Do shortcut number 4. I meant number 5 first. And I'll switch. I'll give everybody a minute to write that down. Now let's do it with shortcut number 5 first. V to the 6 minus 729. Shortcut number 5 says I'm going to take the cube root of this and the cube root of this. The cube root of V to the 6 is V what? Squared. Plus, we said that the cube root of this was what? 9? Oh, be a minus. No coughing in class. V minus squared, and then V to the 4th plus 9V squared plus 81. And then what is this? Shortcut number 3, which would be V plus 3 times V minus 3 times V to the 4th plus 9V squared plus 81. And there's your V plus 3 and your V minus 3, and there's your V to the 4th, which is V squared times V squared, which is, that's in the previous method right here. What's V squared times V squared? V to the 4th. Now, I don't know which method they will take. They may take both answers. I don't know. I haven't typed in both answers. But I'll type in 3 and let's see what they get. They did it shortcut number 3, then shortcuts 4 and 5. I think it will take both answers, but I'm not sure. So try it and let me know. But I will not mark it off on your test. I will not mark you wrong if you do both or one of the two. Either one's correct. Okay? Alrighty. Hope that helps you on that one. I feel like I'm doing these things over and over and over. Huh? Have I done this one? Okay. Okay. That one's done. All right, let me get that one out of here. Oh, shoot. All right, this one is 5.66. Is that the same one? Okay. And this one is... Dadgum, people!
I told you that was a good one.
Oh, that's the one everybody sent in. Okay, okay. And that's 5.6. This is different. 7121. 7121. All right, take a second and work that one. This is 24 C to the 4th plus 375. 24 C to the 4th plus 375 C Z to the 3rd. Well, you're gonna pull out a C. And I don't have any idea what's in, I think something's in common with 24 and 375. I have no idea what, because I still want to get a perfect square out of this thing. So, you know, divide by 3. Okay, so 3C. And that'll leave you with what? 8C to the third. There's a perfect cube plus, thank you, Z to the third. There's another perfect cube. Look at there. Shortcut number 4, Hubert. That's right, class. Because you all know your perfect squares, because that's the second thing I told you to learn. I mean, your 5 shortcuts. First thing you got to learn is your perfect squares and perfect cubes. Second thing you got to learn is your shortcuts. Then after you memorize those 3 things, then you should be able to work the problems. What's the cube root of 8C cubed? What's the cube root of 125Z to the third? No, it should be squared. Sorry. And that should be finally. Oh, I made a mistake. Right here. Supposed to be a minus right there. See, I was waiting on the lecture class to bring that out, but oh well, I had to catch it myself. They're still awake. They're still asleep. Everybody feel good about themselves?
Will you go back and tell me where when you first write the 3C times the 2C plus 5C, I'm confused on how you're getting that first parentheses.
This right here.
Yes.
Recite to me shortcut number 4. No, don't look at your paper. Recite it.
I'm not there.
Say it one more time.
I'm not there.
You're not there yet. So you haven't done the second thing. I'm not trying to embarrass you.
Okay.
That's why you have to know them. You have to memorize them, therefore you know where it comes from. The shortcut says A, well, I hope it says A cubed plus B cubed, or A cubed minus B cubed, this is plus, is equal to A plus B, parentheses, A squared minus AB plus B squared. There it is. So what's the cube root here? What's the cube root of 8C cubed? 2C. So A here, A is equal to 2C. What's B? What's the cube root of this? 5Z. So what do you do with 2C and 5C? What do you do with them? See it?
Not the second one.
Yeah. Just plug and chug. But see, do you see what I'm saying? If you don't know the shortcuts verbatim, if you don't know them by memory, then it's going to be hard to understand what this is right here. And if you don't know the cubes, you got to know the cubes and the square root, so you know which ones to use. You've got that. You just need to memorize this. And just remember, when you take the cube root of this, you've got A. When you take the cube root of this, you've got what? B. And you plug each other. And the faster you get with these, the better off you are. Of course, I still got some people saying, well, can I use the reverse FOIL? No. You cannot. That's the same one, isn't it? Okay. 85/22. Yep. No, we're on 11.2. We already had 2 tests. You didn't get the due date? Due date! Due date! C to the third minus 16c squared minus 4c plus 64.
Can I ask you a question?
Nice, I'm off the clock. What?
I know last time you had took some of the homework problems and added it into the test.
I did what?
You know, some of the problems from our tests had, some of the problems from the homework. Is that possible? When is time?
Are you asking if I take homework problems and put it on the test?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. I point and click. I drag and click. Yeah. But on yours, I'm going to make up new problems, Mrs. Wilson. All right, first of all, do we have a lot of perfect squares? Got 2. So I would probably say do it 2 by 2. I don't think there's enough to do it 3 by 1. So I'm going to group the first 2 and the last 2. C to the third minus 16c squared plus or minus 4c plus 64. Group the first 2 and the last 2. What's in common with the first 2? C to the second. That leaves you with c minus what? Factor out a -4. And what does that leave you? C minus 16, Hubert. That's right. So your final answer is, or not the final answer, but that will bring you c squared minus 4 times c minus 16. Remember, these 2 guys right here, do you do anything with them, or do they just come down? They just come down. There it is, right there. You don't get fancy. You don't do anything. You just bring them down. What about this guy? C squared minus 4. What can we do with c squared minus 4? Difference of 2 squares, exactly. And I'll highlight that. This right here is the difference of 2 squares. Shortcut number 3, so your final answer is c plus 2, c minus 2 times c minus 16. That's your final answer. Mrs. Ugg, is she distracting you? I can call security if you want me to.
I think she's a sweetheart. You don't
No, she is trouble. C plus 2, C minus 2 times C minus 16. Golly, look there. We got it right.
That's my nickname.
What? Vanna? All right. Let's do something else. We got to hurry up. I got to get out of this section. All right, that's that one. 5.7 is just a conglomeration.
Just a bunch of zeros.
Yeah. 5.6, 85/22. Did we do that one?
Yeah.
Okay. 5.7, 27.5. I think we've done that one. Huh?
That's 5.7.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, we're going to stop there. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to look at these. 5.4, 5.4, 5.4, 5.4. Okay, let's go over these 5.4s right quick. That's not even supposed to be there. And here we go. That's not supposed to be there. These are all, why are they, I must have something set up right. These are not the right problems. These go somewhere else. Okay, now, 5.7. I'm going to look at a couple of these, but we need to move on to 6.1. So 5.7, 27/5. 5.7, 27/5. Okay, this is nothing. We've been dealing with expressions. Let me go to a white page. This is what we've been dealing with so far in 5.6. This is what y'all been dealing with. X squared minus 4. Okay? These are what we call what? Expressions. The only thing you can do with an expression is simplify or expand. That's the only thing you can do with an expression. And what is there not? There is no equal sign. Okay, so there is no solving. You cannot solve an expression. The only thing you can do to an expression is simplify or expand it. Factor it or multiply. That's the only thing you can do with an expression. Now we're going to add an equal sign to it, and it becomes a what? Equation. Equal means equation. Equation you can solve. And it has an equal sign. So what do you do different? Well, nothing. You just factor it and then you solve. So let's take, for example, this problem I'm just doing. X squared minus 4 is equal to 0. Now you know back from your pre-algebra and algebra 1 days that you have one objective of algebra, and that is to get the variable what? By itself. So how do you get the variable by itself? The negative 4 is a pain in the butt, so you need to do what with the negative 4? Move it. Get it to the other side, or take it across the river, or add a positive 4 on both sides. Whatever you were taught, do it. So that will give us x squared is equal to what? 4. Now how do you get x by itself when it's raised to the second power? Take the square root. Anytime you got something squared, take the square root. Anytime you got something cubed, take the cube root. Anytime you take something to the 4th power, you take the 4th root. You get the picture? Okay? So if I want to find something squared, I take the square root of it. X is equal to positive or negative what? 2. The reason we have this positive or negative, highlighter time. The reason we have this positive and negative right here is why? Negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to what? And positive 2 times positive 2 is equal to what? So your possible answers is positive 2 or what? Negative 2. Very, very important, because that, and later on in college algebra, which hopefully some of y'all are going to be taking from me next semester, that is your x-intercepts. How many x-intercepts does a parabola have? Let's see. How many x-intercepts does a parabola have? 2. How many solutions do we have here? two, a positive and a negative. Negative and positive. And that's what you're going to be finding in college algebra and in the end of this class. All right, so what's the problem we were doing? X what?
C squared negative 9c
Okay.
equals 0.
C what?
C squared negative 9c.
Okay, we'll just sit here and wait because it's not that, because that is on a different system. We'll just sit here and that's still running. Okay, always great to have a system crash or, oh, that's nice.
Fancy.
How did I do that? Ms. Wilson, what did you do?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, give it to me one more time. C squared what?
Negative 9c.
Negative 9c. If you're going to laugh at my mouse writing, then come up here and do it.
Equals 0.
Equals 0. If somebody's going to make fun of my mouse writing, come up here and you write with the mouse and see how easy it is.
I'm left-handed, so that's a struggle for me.
Okay. All right. So, what's your rules for factoring a binomial, two-term polynomial? What's your flags? There's two of them. One is factor out a common term, and the second thing is shortcut number what? 3. Or number 4 or 5, depending on if you have cubes or not. So, what can I do with this guy?
Factor out c.
Factor out a c. I don't think. Well, this is a good thing. Believe it or not, this is a good thing. Because now I can tell IT that something is wrong with this computer, and that's why it was crashing last week. It's not that thing, and it's not that software. It's this, because my pen has quit working. And we all know whose fault it is. Whose fault is it?
Ms. Wilson?
No. Besides that, Bush. It's Bush's fault. Okay. Now, if I have something equal to 0, then that means one of the two factors, or one of the two things that equal 0 has to be what? 0. 2 times 0 is equal to 0. 0 times 2 is equal to 0. One of them has to be 0. So I'm going to set C. I don't know what has happened. Something has disabled this pen. Okay, I'll just have to finish out with my mouse. It's going to be very slow. C is equal to 0, or C minus 9 is equal to 0. So one possibility is C equal to 0. The other possibility is C is equal to what? 9. And there is your two possible answers. So let's plug it in. Let's see what happens when you plug in 0. 0 times negative 9 is equal to what?
0.
Is that true? What about 9? 9 times 0 is equal to what? So yes, it is true. And that's how you do those type of problems in 5.7. So let's do a nerd. And that's the answer right there. So that's this one. 5.733/6. 5.733/6. Set it equal to 0. So that means 64 is going to have to come where? To the left. So move it over and then you'll have a 0 on the right hand side. Get used to doing this because Let me try something right quick. I am so glad this did this. Because, yep, this is what it was doing last week, wasn't it? Yes, Hubert, thank you, class. Remember, I couldn't get it to work after it crashed. Y'all remember that? Huh? This means yes, this means no.
Yes.
Yes, I thought y'all did. Okay, now I can call them and say, y'all need to get up here and fix this dadgum computer. Yes, sir.
Is it in battery powered?
Huh?
Is it
No.
battery powered?
It's not battery powered, it's just a stylus. No, they've already checked the pins. These are 2 new pins. So, I don't know what's up with it. I'll just have to keep writing because I'm not going to redo this video. I'm sorry. All right, 64. You want to get up here and write, Miss Chuckles, minus 64 is equal to 0. All right, what's the flag? We got 2 terms. What are you going to do? Factor out a common term. What's in common? So you factor that out. And then you're left with c squared minus 1 is equal to 0. And then you're going to set 64 equal to 0 and c squared minus 1 equal to 0. Well, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this problem? No, this right here. That's 64 can never equal what? All right, now make a note of this. You need to take your highlighter out and you need to highlight this guy right here. Because that's going to happen a good bit in some of your algebra problems. When you factor out something and it's set equal to 0 and you get 104 is equal to 0 and negative 5 is equal to 0, just go ahead and cross it out because it can't happen. It's a way of getting rid of some of your fat. You know how like some people, I don't know why, but some people, like when they get a steak, they trim off the fat. That's ridiculous. You're supposed to eat it. That gives it flavor. Duh. Anyway, that's what you're doing. You're trimming off that part because that really doesn't help. C squared is equal to what? Well, C is equal to plus or minus 1 is your final answer, yes. So C squared, C squared is equal to positive 1. Take the square root of both sides. C is equal to positive or negative 1. And that's your final answer. So, the only problem with this answer up here is 64 cannot be an answer because 64 is not equal to what? 0. Look at there. We are on fire. And y'all are saying to yourself, God, this stuff is easy. All right, 5.743/9. 5.743/9. Solve by factoring and using principle of 0. I would say the best thing to do is use your FOIL method, bring the 8 over, combine, then refactor. That's what I would do. So that would give you x squared plus 3x minus 10, right? X squared plus 3x minus 10. Do that on the left-hand side. X squared plus 3x minus 10 is equal to 8. And what am I going to do with that 8?
Bring it over.
Bring it over and combine with that negative, that'd be what, negative 18? Because when you bring it over, it becomes a what?
Negative.
So x squared plus 3x minus 18 is equal to 0. Dang old 6 times 3 maybe. Now use your reverse FOIL. Three and 6. What kind of 3 do we need in the middle right here? This one's, it should be positive. We need a positive 3. So what's bigger, 6 or 3?
6.
So it's positive. And what does this mean, like or unlike? Unlike, so what's the unlike of positive 6? Negative. And x minus 3 is equal to 0. And x plus 6 is equal to 0. What's our final answers? 3 and what?
Negative 6.
And that should be your answer. There you go. So you see that this section is not difficult. It's just a continuation of what you were doing in 5.6. 43, delete. 43, delete. 55/11. 55/11. Okay? Now, they're wanting you to find the x-intercepts. I want you to find them algebraically using the reverse FOIL, and then we'll match it up with the graph. Oh, excuse me. So using the reverse FOIL, get an x here and an x here, and what, 1 times 5? A lot of people say, well, how are you sure it's 1 times 5? Well, 5 is what number? Prime number, Hubert. That's right. You can't mess a prime number up. Some of y'all can, but most of you cannot mess the prime number up. Let's see, that's 0.333 times, yeah, whatever. Okay, so what do we need? We need a negative 4. So that means the 5 has to be what? And what is this, like or unlike? To get a negative, when you multiply, that means unlike, so that would be a positive. X minus 1 is equal to 0. I'm sorry, that would be negative 1. And what's the other answer? Okay, well, I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter and I'm going to color the 1. I'm going to color it yeller or yellow, depending on where you're from. And the 5, I'm going to color verde. And then I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter and make a small. Say again.
So just like all the people at the back at work,
At the back. There's that. Where you work?
Chick-fil-A. I speak Spanish more than I speak English at work,
Well, yeah, welcome to the real world.
right?
I'm trying to figure out. And the yellow, there's my x-intercept right there. And that's what you just found. You just found your x-intercept.
So really, I could have just looked at the graph.
Yeah, but it was asking you, you know, if you knew what the x-intercepts were, but it doesn't say. It says solution is x, and most people don't know what that means. This right here means what are the x-intercepts? That's what it means. They can't ask for the x-intercepts. They just, the solutions is /r, x is equal to. They can't just say what are the x-intercepts. That would be too simple. Okay? And hold your pinky up, because that's what they like to do when they talk about math. All right, that's 55. 57/12. All right, I'm going to let y'all write this one down. Negative x squared minus 3x plus 10 is equal to 0. Now, what did I tell y'all a while back about a negative x squared? Did I tell you we wanted that, or we don't want that? Well, you don't want that. So, you need to do something and get that negative x squared. You need to get that a positive. So, you need to do something. Factor out of what? A negative 1. Yes. Do that. Mrs. Ugg, when's class over? 12:20. Okay. See, and you wonder why you can't pass. You wonder why you can't pass. Why are you so worried about work? Your priorities should be math first. Work, no. Work, we don't need to work. The society, our society today is don't work and get paid. I'm going to be quiet because I could say a bunch of things right now. You need to get Obama to hook you up. What?
I might have to step out for this.
That's fine. I'm sorry, what?
What number are we on?
Oh, let me just repeat myself. Okay, hold on.
Please and thank you.
Oh, gosh. I don't know what I'm doing. 5.7, 57/12. Thank you. 5.7, 57/12. Factor out a negative. And see what you get. I put it in Starfish. You can go on to Starfish and look. I don't post it on my door because half y'all don't even look. Half y'all don't even come up to my office. That's what gets me. I post. When are you gonna post your office hours? They're on the door. Oh, okay.
Do you get little starfishes too for like the steps that you take?
Yeah. How'd you know that?
Because Miss Van Huss said yesterday, she's like, yeah, you were the first appointment that I had on Starfish, so I have another one in the mail.
I got
was like,
3. I got 3 starfish. I got a gold, silver, and a bronze one. Well, they're not
Is it
real.
like-
They're not real, huh?
Is it like
Little-
steps?
Yeah, they actually, I like Starfish because you can communicate with students a whole lot better than through Banner. Banner was terrible. Banner is like a big, gigantic freight ship. I mean, it is. It's good for what it's supposed to do, and that's to keep your records. But it's not like the little speedboat that you can go to shore back and forth. It's not. And Starfish is that little speedboat. I can do things with y'all. I can do advising. I can do appointments. I can do office hours. I can send y'all's emails, all that good stuff.
I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Why don't you go through
I don't like Blackboard. I've never have used it.
Really?
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, online students, I do not use Blackboard. Negative, and that'd be x squared plus 3x plus or minus 10 is equal to 0. Now, this is a what out here? Negative what? So you can say, okay, this is odd. My son is calling me. He's 5 years old. Hold on just a second. Hello. What are you doing, boy? Are you in school? Are you in school? Why not? Okay, well, let me call you back. I'm in class. Okay, bye-bye. He's supposed to be in school. Hmm? No, I don't know why he's not in school. Okay. I don't know. Is school let out today?
It was like an awards day, and I mean, you could pick your kid up early.
That's what it was. Okay.
But
That's what it was. Okay. I bought me a new keyboard for my phone because my thumbs are too big, and when I'm writing emails, oh my gosh, it's awful. You know, when y'all send me an email and it comes in, forget it. I got to do a long explanation. I'd use this. Anyway, and I gave him my old one. My old one is about, it's like out to here, and it's missing a key, and he wanted it, so I gave it to him, and he can't get it to work with his phone, and it's about driving him crazy. All right, sorry about that. He's 7, not 5. All right, so this -1 is going to be equal to 0. Can negative 1 equal 0? Yes or no?
No.
So mark it out. Just go ahead and take your pen and mark that out because it's not going to help you. So mark that out. Mark that out. And now you've got x squared plus 3x minus 10. So use your reverse FOIL. And we all know that's 2 and 5, isn't it? Some of y'all are saying, hey, I saw that before I even started. Yeah, see what working does? Be a positive and a minus. So what's our 2x intercepts? And I'm not gonna finish the answer. I'm just gonna draw it. So I'm gonna take my handy dandy highlighter and I'm gonna mark this one yellow, and that's gonna be what? -5. So that's gonna be this guy. Oh Lord. Yeah, that threw me off a little bit. Okay, and green will be this guy. And what's x minus 2 is equal to 0? What does that come out to be? 2. And that's your green. Sorry. Y'all just have to bear with me. I'm doing the best I can. There you go. And you feel good about yourself. So you don't, You don't?
Actually, it's 2 and -5.
That's what I just said. X minus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to 2. And there it is.
But a -2 is -5.
I told you I wasn't going to finish it. Okay, let me finish it. X minus 2 is equal to 0. Some people just don't listen. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, now I'm back here trying to,
You're trying to write and listen at the same time, but you're a woman. You can do that. You can multitask and do everything correctly. It's us men that can't do it. X plus 5 is equal to 5, 0, and that's equal to what?
would you mark off the test, if you left your solution as the highlighted answer, or not highlighted answer above, but like you leave your word
If you were
like
trying to
that?
find this, I would take this, yes. But it all depends on what they're asking. They're probably going to ask this, which is this one here. Miss Wilson, you see that? -5 and +2.
yeah. I just wanted to clarify so, nobody don't get the wrong.
I understand. You're looking out for everybody, aren't you?
I feel it.
All right.
calling me up one morning. She was drunk and couldn't get out of her car and just all kind of stuff.
Just stop.
No, she just had a flat tire. And she was in the ditch or something. I can't remember. Okay. I don't think we're ever going to get to 6.1. Let's see, how far are we? I'm going to move on.
I know
Okay.
number 13 for real was a struggle.
Number 13.
Yeah, because it's set equal to y.
Where?
5.713.
Oh, this one? All right, let me do that one, and then we're going to move on to 6.1 because I got some things I need to cover. All right. Find the x-intercepts, okay? Go back to your algebra skills. If you want to find your x-intercepts, what do you plug in for y? 0. So put you in a 0. That's it.
Nice.
And now you back to square one with 6 and 5. Negative 6, positive 5. Your answer is 6 and 5. And you feel good about yourself. So you don't have to put smokestacks on your pickup truck. And jack it up 15 feet in the air.
Could you pull that up a little bit?
Yes, Miss Wilson. Make sure you back up a little bit more. You're on the back row, but I think you can back up another 6 or 8 feet. Maybe that'll help you see him. Yes, ma'am.
So would 0 be one of the answers?
No. What? When you get to quadratics, and you get this, next time there may be an f of x here. F of x is equal to something. That's y.
Okay.
And what they're telling you is, when you want to find the x-intercept, what do you plug in for y? 0. So you put a 0 in right here, and you do it just like you've been doing. The answer is 6 and negative 5. Now, I don't know if they want it this way. It says type an order pair. So, yes, you got to plug in 0 for y. Okay, we're going to move on. And I want to cover some things in 6.1 and 6.2. And, of course, I can't write. This is really frustrating because let me do, no, I can't do that either. I don't know why it's still not writing. Okay. Let me go here. 6.1. These are called rational expressions. Rational expressions. I bet it's still not going to write. Nope.
Use your dry erase markers.
Yeah, not on this. I'll have to move over there. I don't have any. See if I got my stash down here. Yep. Okay. Because of technical difficulties, we're moving over here. All right. A rational expression is going to look like this. Make sure y'all can see. I might zoom it out. X squared plus 4x plus 4 over x plus 2. That is a rational expression. You need to write it down because you're going to get rational expressions and you're going to have rational equations. Now, somebody tell me what's another word for this conglomeration right here? What's another word for it? Fraction. There's one thing you can't have in a fraction. What is that?
0.
That's it. Write that down. This is a rational expression.
It's also called a fraction. And there's one thing in fractions you can't have. You cannot have a 0 in the denominator. And you need to highlight this because this is going to play in a lot. This is going to have an effect in your test because there's going to be problems where you have to find out what will mess up the problem. This right here will make the equation blow up. Now, blow up is a term that I have heard my professors at Clemson say, and that means basically it will make the function not work. All right? Now, I'm going to take a second. I want to erase this, and we're going to go back to free algebra. And we're going to look at some properties of fractions. So go ahead and make sure everybody writes that down. I hope everybody's got it. Let's, I got to find my eraser since I never use it. So we're going to go back to free algebra and we're going to review some things. 1. Can I reduce a fraction horizontally, like 2/4? Yes or no? Yes. I can say 2 will go in there 1 time, 2 will go in there 2 times, so that's equal to 1/2. And you should be able to do that. How about 2? And that's called reducing. And leave kind of the half a page over here on your paper. Leave it because we want to do some more stuff over here. That's called reducing. How about multiplying? One half times 4/3. What can we do there? Well, we can go straight across and reduce, or what can we do? We can reduce and then go straight across, right? So 2 will go in there 1 time, 2 will go in there 2 times, then 2/3, right? If I remember how to reduce diagonally and vertically. So everybody good with that? And how about adding or subtracting? What do you got to have in order to add or subtract? You got to have a what? Common denominator. I'm going to put a plus and a minus right here because it's with addition and subtraction. You got to have a common denominator. And if you don't have a common denominator, you got to what? Quit or find one? Find one. 1/3 plus 2/5. Well, that's going to be a 15. And that's going to be a 15. And then 3 will go into 15. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 will go into 15. 3 times 2 is 6. And 11/15 is your answer. Now, does everybody remember that stuff? I hope so. Because look over here. I'm going to do these in green. X squared plus X. Sorry. Over 2X. Okay, look at that problem. X squared plus X over 2X. Now, is there anything we can do in the numerator? What? Factor out a common term. Now, what can we do now? Yeah, we can. X is, what do? X over X is what? 1. So they cancel. You're left with X plus 1 over 2. What did we just do to this problem? We reduced it.
All I'm doing is taking 6.1 and I'm relating it back to your pre-algebra days. So that way y'all won't go, huh? All right, let's do another one. X plus 3 quantity squared over x times x to the third over x plus 3. And we are multiplying. So what can we do?
Cancel the x.
The x can cancel with what?
1.
This up here. This is to the first. So x will go into x one time. X will go into x to the third. How many times? X squared times, Schubert. And what about these two? Will they cancel?
Yes.
Yes, this is to the first power. X plus 3 will go into x plus 3 one time. X plus 3 will go into x plus 3 squared. X plus 3 to the first power. So what's our final answer? X squared times x plus 3 over 1 times 1 is what? 1, which is right there. Now, I don't expect you to know how to do this right off the bat. What I'm trying to do is tell you that these two, by principle, are they the same? Yes, they're the same. You cancel diagonally and you cancel vertically. In this case, you're just canceling diagonally. All right, let's do one of these. X over x plus 1 plus 3 over x plus 1. What's the answer? Yes, sir.
I have a question on the last one.
Uh-huh.
For the answer, do we need to distribute the x?
No. You can. I won't mark it wrong. You can do either one. It'd be x to the third plus 3x squared. I'll take either answer. All right, what about here?
3x over x plus 1.
Well, x plus 3 is what? X plus 3 over what? X plus 1. Now, this leads us to the question, why can't the x's cancel? When you are single, all right? Everybody, I don't know who's single in here, who's not. Can you date other people?
Yes.
Pretty much. You can. What if you're married?
Yes.
Be quiet, Mrs. Wilson. All right? When, okay. In theory, Miss Wilson, if you are married, can you date other people? No, you cannot. All right? Unless you're in some kind of open relationship, but that doesn't count as marriage, okay, in this scenario. All right? So, if you're single, if you're right here, if you're single by yourself, and you're single by yourself here, this is not married, okay? They can cancel. All right? If you're single, you can cancel. If you're married, you can't cancel. These guys married? Yes. Are these guys married? They can't cancel. Remember that. X plus and X minus. If you got an X plus or an X minus, you cannot cancel like you can with multiplication. And remember that because that'll get you on a test. That will get you on a test. Somebody will try to take out those X's. I'm not going to go to this one right now because we got to build up to this because y'all will crash and burn if I go into it right now. So let's work a couple of examples. Now that we've started, this is actually 6.1 and 6.2. I'm going to put a problem on the board, and I want you to work it. This is simplification, reducing. So here we go. Oops, I got to switch back over now. Sorry. X squared, sorry, sometimes this mouse won't work, minus 2x minus 8 over x minus 4. All right? I want you to do what you can. Now, remember, when you're dealing with these guys, trinomials are worthless unless you do what to them? Factor them. Always remember that. When you're dealing with these type problems, trinomials are worthless unless you factor them using the reverse FOIL. So go ahead and use your reverse FOIL and see if you can get something to reduce. So that will break up into parentheses, x, that's what, 2 and 4? We need a negative 2, so that means the 4 has to be negative. What does this mean? Over x minus 4. And what happens to the x minus 4s? They cancel. And what's your final answer? And you have just reduced.
Is it x minus 2 or x plus 2?
X plus 2. Thank you. I was just making sure y'all were awake. Okay? X plus 2. Now this is a basic rational expression. If I was to give you a test on chapter 6, this would be probably 10% of your test. I'm going to give you a couple of these and that's going to be it. But in order to add or subtract or multiply and divide fractions or rational expressions, whatever you want to call them, you have to be able to do this, especially with multiplication and division. Oops, I forgot division, but we'll go over that when we get there, okay? Let's try nerding. X squared plus 8x plus 16 over x plus 4. Should you be using reverse FOIL or should you be using the shortcuts? Shortcuts, Hubert. That's right, class. You should be using the shortcuts. Reverse FOIL will take too much time in this problem. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please be excused.
Oh, go right ahead. You don't have to ask. Just go if you need to go.
Thank you. This is an important vote.
Yep. So what is the top? Shortcut number number 1, Hubert. That's right, class. X plus 4, quantity what? Squared over, that's awful. I should type it, but, excuse me. I should type it, but it'll take too long. X plus 4. And you probably, why don't you just start it over? Well, I'm recording this presentation. So you're going to get 2 files. One you're going to get as attachment. The other one, I guess I could put both of them. Yeah, I could put both of them on YouTube. One is just going to show the thing right here, the pen, and me talking. It's not going to, you're not going to see me at all. And the other one is going to be what we see in classroom. So that's why I can't start this over, because then this will be messed up. And I don't want to do that. All right, what will happen? Well, this is to the first power, and this is to the second power. What do we do if the bases are the same and we divide exponents? What do? Subtract. And what's 2 minus 1? So x to the 4th, x plus 4 to the first power is your answer, or x plus 4 is your answer. Or you can cancel. If you want to cancel, you can do that. And that'll be to the first power. Now, that's the first part of Chapter 6. The second part of Chapter 6, 6.2, or the second section, is what is the denominator? What is the denominator can't equal? What can it not equal? Well, it can't equal 0. Well, what numbers will give you 0? Well, you set denominator equal to what? And solve. So in this case, 6.2, x plus 4 is equal to 0. X is equal to what? So what number can I not use in my equation? I cannot use -4 in this equation. If I use -4, I'm going to get a 0 in the denominator, and the function is going to blow up. So my domain is all real numbers except x cannot equal what? Negative what? So your domain is affected when you're using a rational expression. Mrs. Ugg, when's class over? 12 what? Okay. Now you said you knew somebody that knew me, and somebody else said they knew somebody. Who's that?
Chris Hope.
Who?
Chris Hope.
Chris Hope. One of my students.
No.
Male or female?
Male.
Chris Hope. How does he know me?
I don't know. He's been around Anderson a long time. He says he thinks he knows you. I think he's almost 40. He drives a big white truck.
I know someone that knows me.
Who?
No smokestacks.
Well, that's a good thing.
Polly Kay.
Who?
Polly Kay. She's the department head of the MLT.
Oh, yeah. Polly. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I love her and her husband both. I don't know Mr. Hope, though.
Do you know Tricia Keithley that works at Kia Anderson right up the road?
Do I know her? I do?
No, do you?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't know Mr. Hope. I probably know of him if I see him. I don't know, but are you leaving too?
Yes, don't lock me out, though.
I'm going to mark you. I'm going to cut you out of the class.
Well, I was asking if you knew Tricia Keithley. I wanted to get ready for her.
with her.
No, I was just asking if you knew, because that's where I'm going to her daughter's funeral today. So
Oh,
I
my.
wanted to know her.
Oh, my. Golly, everybody's leaving. I'm going to give a test right now.
I told you the first of class.
No, I'm going to give a test. Due date is yesterday. All right, work on 6.1 and 6.2.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's look at some of the homework problems in 6.1 and 6.2 that y'all have sent in. I don't know if y'all sent in any or not, but I think y'all have.
This homework screen.
Why?
It's like you have 3 chances, and the first 2 you get them wrong, and then the last one you're like,
I need to change that because I don't like it being just 3 chances.
well, on the one that I just sent you, it marked it wrong, but it was only because I had I had the exact same thing that it said, but it was in a different order.
Oh, Lord.
Once it shows you how to do it differently from how you show it.
Okay, let me pull it up. Hold
That's
on.
my struggle.
6.1. Okay, let's just start with this one. 6.1. 13, number 2. 6.1, 13, number 2. I'll fix it. Just if you remind me after class to fix it, I'll fix it. All right, let's do this one. That they want you to reduce. W minus 1 over 8W minus 8. Now, there's only one thing you can do, and that's what? Factor out a common term. You can't factor out a common term at the top, so you just write it down as W minus 1 over 8 times W minus 1. And what happens to the W minus 1s? And that's equal to 1/8. Now, they also want to ask what's the number that you can't use. So 8 W minus 1 is equal to what? 0, because that's in the denominator. 8 cannot equal 0, so it goes out. And W minus 1 is equal to 0. What's the answer? 1. So I can use any number in this expression, but I cannot use the number 1. Because if I use the number 1, what's 8 times 1? What's 8 minus 8? Function blows up because it can't work with a 0 in the denominator. So you cannot use number 1. Capiche? Let's do nerd. 19, number 4. All right, they just want you, now when you see these directions, simplify by removing factors 1. This is a 25-cent word for reduce. You're not finding what gives you 0. That's not what they're not asking you that. They're asking you to reduce. Is today Wednesday? All right. So, this one, you can factor out, these both end in 5s, so you can factor out something 5, 25 or 5, something. Which one do you factor out here? Well, these two will cancel, or you can factor out a w squared and then cancel out, or whatever. These two will cancel and that'll leave a w squared, and these two will cancel and leave a y to the 5th. So I'm not really too concerned about the 1875, so this is what I'm going to do. And this is what you need to do when you come up to a problem like this. Break it up into 3 problems. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to, I can't write with this. I'm going to have to do something different. Hold on. Well, I thought, can this thing not? No, I don't want to do that either. Let me just do this. 1875 divided by 45. Now, I'm not too concerned with that one. Y'all can do that one because y'all are good students and y'all can do that one. The w to the 4th, w to the 4th divided by w squared. That's the second part. And then the third part is what? Y to the 7th divided by y squared. All right, now all of these are part of the problem, but the reason I broke it up is because some of you can handle it when you're doing these problems for the first time. It's easier if you break it up into these 3. Now, somebody divide 1875 by 45 in your calculator. Do you come out with the whole number or what?
No.
All right, divide both of them by 9. What do you come up with?
I did them both like
By 15. That's good. What'd you come up with?
119 over.
Okay, so that breaks down to 119 over 3. And again, I don't really concern myself with that. But the next one, you need to be careful. What's w to the 4th divided by w squared? W to the 2nd over what? Over 1. Now the reason I want to put it over 1 is because you're going to have to put all this back together. And when you do, you need to make sure you got all your P's and Q's dotted and crossed and all that good stuff. You got to make sure everything's organized. And then the last one is what? Y to the 5th over what? Y to the 5th over 1. I don't know why it's over there. Okay, so there's our 3 parts. And I'm going to write the answer, 119 over 3 times w squared over 1 times y to the 5th over 1. And now you can put it back together, 119 w squared y to the 5th over 3. And the reason you have to do that is because some of these things can get a little bit confusing. And if you keep everything in form of a fraction, okay, they did 125 over 3. You might want to check that 119. Okay, yeah, it's 125 over 3, not 119 over 3.
When you type that in, you have to put it in parentheses, or else when you divide it, it'll make the 3 go under just the y to the 5th.
Yeah, I agree, yes. And I would put parentheses around the numerator, but you can do it around the denominator too, whatever you want to do. I agree. All right, and that's how you do that problem. 19, I think that was 19/4, was it not? Okay. 22/5. All right, try that one. 6z minus 48 over 6z plus 48. And I'll be writing it out while y'all are doing it. 6z minus 48 over 6z plus 48. All right, somebody tell me what we got. We got two binomials, don't we? What's the flag for binomials? Factor out a common term or shortcut. So let's factor out a common term. What's the common term?
6.
Dang old 6. And I leave z minus what? 8? Over 6z plus 8. And what happens to the 6 over 6? 6 over 6 is 1. And there's your answer. Now the student that sent this says, what happens to the 6? Well, 6 over 6 is 1. So it cancels out to 1. It's just like if you was to have a 36 out here and a 6 over here, what would it cancel to then? If you had a 36 up top and then a 6 right here.
Leave the 6
It'd be 6 times z minus 8 over 1 times z plus 8. Okay?
Well, I guess the married people got a divorce, huh?
What are you talking about? Where?
And the problem,
Oh gosh. Where? Right here?
yeah, because you had your two married people. And
No. I factored out that these two are still married. These two are still married. You can't cancel this z and this z.
The affair was out.
I don't know what that was, okay? Maybe they lost weight or something. Yeah, they lost weight. That's what happened. They lost weight.
Together.
This couple lost 6 pounds and this couple lost 6 pounds, so they just lost 6 over 6
The
pounds.
top must be a real skinny couple.
Yeah, then that's what it is. Okay? No, you can't cancel the z's and you can't cancel the 8's because they married. Okay? All right. Trying to mess my theory up. Hubert's theory of married numbers. All right. So that's that one. That's number 22. Moving along. 35/11. Okay, here we go. I'm going to let y'all work on this one. I'm going to blow it up for the people at home because they probably can't see it. Because I can't write on the board until I start the computer over again. There we go. And that is 5x squared plus 40x plus 80 over 25 plus, 25r squared minus 25r minus 500. Uh-oh. I don't see I think it quit recording. No, it's still recording. Good. I just didn't know where it went. Sorry about that. So you need to factor out something. Yes, sir.
I've got 4 minutes left of class. So
Thank you.
Call roll.
Thank you. Yeah, because everybody's here. Yeah, everybody left. Okay, while y'all working on that one, I'll call the roll. Thank you. Math 102, y'all are the second class. Today is Wednesday, right? We didn't come Monday, did we? Nope. Now I got to turn in attendance for Monday. Did y'all get an email saying that y'all were counted absent? Okay. All right, let's see. Miss Black was here. Miss Bozeman was here. Miss Cowart was here. Mr. Gray. I don't think Mr. Gray's here today. Miss Grogan. Miss Grogan.
Right here.
There you are. Did you switch seats on me? I think you did. Did you sit in the middle of the room at the beginning of the class, right in there?
Yeah.
I thought so. Okay. Miss Holly. Miss Holly. Okay, I hope she wasn't here. Miss Jones.
Here.
Okay. Mr. Keller is here. Mr. Mahaney. Miss Rose.
Here.
Savacool's here. Skipper's here. Wilson was here. And Zug is here. Okay. All right, let's do this problem and then y'all can skedaddle. I done lost the problem. Where is it? Okay. There it is. All right, what can come out of the top?
5.
Well, let's factor out a 5. And that'll give us r squared plus 8r plus what?
16.
16. That's shortcut number 1, Hubert. That's right, class. And then we can factor out a 25 here. I don't know, can we? 25. And that'll give us r squared minus r minus what? Dangle 4 times 20. That's reverse FOIL. So what can happen to the 5 and the 25? Well, that'll go 1 time. That'll go what? 5. So they cancel. This is r plus 4 quantity squared. So 1 times r plus 4 quantity squared over 5 times r minus 5 times r plus what? Plus 4, Hubert. What happens to the r plus 4 on the bottom? It cancels with one of these guys. So you're left with r plus 4 to the first power over 5 times r minus 5. And that should be your answer. Now, what you need to be doing for homework is you need to be working on 5.6 through 6.2. You should be able to, and that's the answer, r plus 4 over 5 times r minus 5. When you come back Monday, we'll probably be going over 6.3 and 6.4. Yes, we are going to be taking a test pretty soon. The online class should be taking a test pretty soon also, but it's not a big deal. But I don't see us taking a test probably until next week. All right, y'all get out of here. Have a good day.
I have a question before I leave.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a few on 5.7
Mm-hmm.
that I've had issues with.
Okay. Let me shut everything off.
You never did answer what your relationship with Miss Wilson used to be.
Oh, Miss Wilson back there. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, she just was a student of mine, and she called me one morning and said, "I can't get to class. I got a flat tire." I said, "Where are you at?" Because I was in town, and she said, "I'm at so and so, so and so." And I said, "Well, I'm coming by there. I'll change the tire for you." And I changed her tire for her,
Okay.
and that's how I know her. Yeah, she's a good student, and she studies, and she studies, and she studies. She's a hard worker.
But you give her a really hard time.
Yeah, I don't give her any slack. she's a good one. Yes, ma'am. What's your problem?
I have 3 on here that I just need, like, I've done them a few times, but just can't.
This is like the second time that we said.
Fix your
daddy. Fix your
Look, I tried, but like to replace the screen, since it's a touch screen, it's $250 just to get this.
So, what do you say?
Right here,
Exactly.
like everything else, but everything else doesn't. So, I told him that, cause I was supposed to pay for it, cause I have a job and stuff, but with cheerleading, it's just expensive. So I was working this one out right here, and when I worked it out, if you divide 6 to get R by itself.
No, you don't have to. 6 R's equals 0.
You're literate.
Computer literate. I mean, I know basic.
6 R is equal to 0, and 5 R minus 6.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I've always wanted to get into game design. I think that would be a good place to start if I could get a college education in programming.
So that does count as an answer.
Yeah, because 0 divided by 6 is 0.
Well, it's your message.
And then,
Tell you what, you think that you definitely need more study for this class. Would you like me to give you my number just in case you want some of the, what we all studied?
Yeah, okay, and then do reverse FYL. 2 squared minus 5b minus 3
I just think that it would benefit both of us. We have someone that, we have, close to.
You gotta be careful here because they like to do 3 and 5. This, because you could do, actually, you could do a 3 here or 1 here. That'd be 5. Or you could do 1 here and 3 here and still get it. It all depends on these right here. So it's gonna have to be unlike, so that means you gotta put a 3 here and 1 here, because you got 6, negative 6, and positive.
Really? That's interesting.
Right, can you read that?
Here's. Okay, I got that. I'll save this and email you if there's something that comes up.
Yeah, that's actually what I was following, so I'll be getting that report for
Charlie, I will see you Monday.
Okay, so I just did it backwards.
That's accurate, Gina.
Alright, nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too.
So when did you have Miss Mariners?
Like a junior course. Just started teaching. 93, 94.
I can't believe you remember the, I should have that.
She was asking me what classes I was taking this summer. Because I decided that I would have 2 online and 1 here, and I'm like giving myself a face every day.
Online classes are very demanding. I would not suggest them to anybody. The only reason, you see what I'm doing to help my students.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm videoing. Okay. 0 is equal to 2x squared plus 7x. Sorry. All right. No, you're not.
She said absolutely. I said,
You never know what's going to happen, you know?
I just really wanted to get it.
7, 7, 9, 7. Yeah, 7, 7.
No comment. Let's see. 2 times X. Plus 7 is 28 over 4, which is 7. That's 1x intercept. Negative 21 minus 7 is negative 28 over 4, which is positive 21 minus 7 is 14, right? Minus 7 is 14. 14 would be 7 halves. It says it right there, there it is, right there. Negative 7 and 7 halves.
I just wonder if it's the order that you put it in, because that's what it was last time.
You got it right.
Hello.
How are you?
Great, how are you?
I can't complain.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, see, hit save and see, final check and see what it's done. Hit final check and see what they say. The same thing you put. I'll change that in your homework. Just
Okay.
remind me. You did it right.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
No.
Okay.
What?
I was going through the book to take out the chapters that we're not gonna do.
Yep.
It only goes up to chapter 12, and our syllabus goes up to chapter 13, so what's up?
Okay, see, I got everything where you said, oh gosh,